Hi guys, glory to Jesus Christ. I wanted to give you an update on basically what I've been doing for the past week or so. I've been kind of falling off the face of the earth, or so it seems. I was our parish lay delegate to the All-American Council of the Orthodox Church in America, which, for those of you who are not Orthodox, it's a gathering of delegates, both clergy and lay people, from every parish in the United States and Canada and in Mexico in the Orthodox Church in America. We don't make doctrinal decisions, of course, because the lay people can't do that. But we do things like make changes to the organizational statute, decide how to source funds. It's things like that. Some of it's a little dry, but it's always exciting, in my opinion, to meet people from all over this part of the world who share the same faith, and just to hear, I mean, even all the different languages is amazing. You know, I'm fascinated by the various Alaskan cultures, because Alaska is really the birthplace of Orthodoxy in North America. And I think it was the first night or second night I was there. It was after dinner, and I was kind of trying to make my way back through this giant hotel maze complex. And there was a group of Alaskans, maybe like 8 or 10 of them, that were squirreled away in a little corner, kind of in a lobby area right next to the ballroom where we were having most of our sessions. And they were singing Vespers, I believe it was, in one of the Alaskan languages. I don't know which one. But it was so cool because, you know, the Diocese of Alaska is basically subsistence level living. Okay, you want to know about material poverty? Oh my goodness. You know, some people laugh at Alaskans for example, butchering whales, but I think it's impossible unless you've really gotten to know them a little bit to understand just how much they need every bit of that animal, you know, and every bit of all of the natural resources, you know, animal, vegetable, mineral, that are there. Because otherwise they would starve to death. They would have no shelter, they would have no clothing, they would have no fuel. So it was an inspiration to me to just see how, in spite of all that, how deeply joyful these people are. Because they really understand the truth. They understand that all those things are going to pass away, but that their faith will not pass away because God will not pass away. So I was very touched by that and very inspired by that. Anyway, moving on. Oh, you want to see the swag I got? I got a bunch of swag. It's not really swag because it wasn't free, but I got this. This is The Soul's Longing, Orthodox Christian Perspective on Biblical Interpretation. This is by Dr. Mary Ford. She teaches up at St. Tikhon's Orthodox Theological Seminary, which is in northeastern Pennsylvania. This is brilliant. I haven't finished it yet because I just bought it a few days ago, but it's basically talks about, okay, well, what is a valid scriptural interpretation? How can we know? How do we evaluate a source to separate a qualified theological opinion from just somebody's just personal whims, basically. So I'm excited about that. I'm going to do a more in-depth review of it probably, but I want to finish reading it first. The other thing that I bought is this. Okay, this is Music for the Divine Liturgy, but it's simple arrangements, 2 and 3 parts, of very basic, fundamental, mostly chant melodies for the primary service of the Orthodox Church, which is the Divine Liturgy. In the West, you might call it a Mass. So I'm very excited about that, and I'm friends with the editor, so I'm like double excited. The crux of this video, though, now that we've gotten all that out of the way, is to just report on something awesome that happened. I think it's so crucial that when these positive things happen, when we experience God's power and grace and working through people in a very direct way, we have an obligation to encourage fellow Christians and even others who are in the secular world by reporting on it. You know, we love to talk about problems and struggles, but let's have a little praise report. So, as you all know, the situation in the Middle East right now is a mess. It's always been a mess, but it's like seriously a mess right now. And there are millions of people who are displaced, who are homeless, who are living in you know, tents with no running water and little food, and no plumbing at all. I mean, it's just absolute squalor. And a lot of these individuals are Christians. Not all of them. And we have concern for all of them. Not just the Christians, but it hits close to home for the Orthodox because so many Christians over there are Orthodox. And so we had a presentation at the council from the IOCC, which is International Orthodox Christian Charities. And they do a lot of work over in the Middle East, trying to bring food and medical supplies and clothing, things like that, to the people who literally have nothing, who have been forced from their homes under threat of death. And over half of them are children, which I did not know. It makes sense, though, doesn't it? That, you've got toddlers who are running around and, living in poverty that you and I cannot imagine, and in danger that you and I cannot imagine. So we heard this presentation, and of course it was troubling, it was very sad, but it also gave me hope, because what's the word that I want? The outlook of this presentation was hopeful and optimistic and full of faith that yes, if we can all work together to help these people. So the following day we passed a resolution, which was essentially saying that we condemn the persecution of everyone over there. And we call upon our national leaders, our international leaders, our clergy to condemn it and to do even more to put an end to it and to restore some kind of balance to that area in as much as it is possible. Now, of course, the resolution passed with flying colors, right? Because it seems like a no-brainer, right? The problem is, it really didn't involve much action. It's saying, sure, we condemn it. Of course we condemn it. But what are we going to do about it? What are we going to do about it in a real concrete sense? Condemning persecution is important, of course, but, money is really what talks. And so after we passed that resolution, somebody went out to the microphone and said, listen, I think we're all in agreement here. This situation is horrible. Can we take up a collection right now? Can we empty the offering bins from the liturgy this morning, and can we just pass them through? And there was about maybe 500, 600 people in the room. Just empty your wallets in there, because if everybody, say you have 500 people, everybody gives $10, all of a sudden that's $5,000, right? Now, the fear that a lot of people have about giving to charities is that so much of their donation is going to go to overhead. It's going to be wasted, essentially. With IOCC, International Orthodox Christian Charities, which I'm going to be saying a lot in this video because I want you to go donate to them, 91 cents on every dollar goes directly to aid. It goes directly to the victims. Okay. I hate that word victim, but I mean, it goes to the people that need help. 91 cents on the dollar. That's huge. Number two is they have matching arrangements with various sponsors and corporations so that every dollar that they receive, they get 7 more from their partners. So every dollar becomes essentially $8, which is, again, amazing. So we took up this collection, and it was cash only, but they had credit card machines out at the door, and they said, when you go to lunch, if you don't have cash on you, you want to give your credit card, please do. In 10 minutes, we raised $12,000. $12,000. Now, 12 times 8 is 96. That's $96,000. 91 cents on the dollar. What does that leave us with? About $87,000 that are going directly to these victims. $87,000. That's amazing. Glory to God, right? So, I'm yammering on about this because it's so important to understand how mighty God, the mighty works that God works through people. Remember, God works through people, and we have to be that people. So that when we realize, okay, there's a situation going on, and it's awful, and we need to pray about this situation, and we must pray about it. Prayer isn't optional. We must pray about it. We must contact our leaders about it. But guess what? Guess what? We must also, to the best of our ability, and this is key, to the best of our ability, Help in a concrete way. Could be money, in this case, because I'm not going to fly to Syria. Okay, money. It could be sending donations of, for example, clothing, food, toiletries, bandages, socks, shoes, sunscreen, right? Water purification tablets. That's another one. Could be any one of a number of things that people need. That most of us, if we will just open up our wallet, no matter how poor we are, and let me tell you right now, I do not have a lot of money at all. But even if we just give a little bit, God will bless that. And will double and triple and quadruple and quintuple it. And amazing things will happen. So, I find that very encouraging. I thought that was a real shot up my arm to say, hey, each of us just did a little bit. But look at the net result. Look at all the people that are going to be able to eat because of that money. Who are going to be able to use a toilet instead of the ground because of that money. Look at the kids who are going to get shoes because of that money, right? All of these things that you and I take for granted so much. So we glorify God for that. Glorify God with me for that. Please keep everyone in the world who is undergoing persecution in your prayers, specifically in the Middle East, Northern Africa, Asia. Persecution of Christians in general, but it's not just Christians, is just rampant. In the United States, you know, we can't even conceive of that. Most of us, if you were born in the United States, you grew up in the United States, you really don't get it. You don't understand that every time you walk out of your house or your tent or your hovel or your cave or wherever it is that you have to live, if you're wearing a cross, you have a target on your head. People die every day for that. So, we glorify God for $87,000. And we ask the intercession of all the saints to protect the people that are putting their life on their line every day for their faith. And we ask for the intercession and protection, particularly of the Mother of God. So join me in those prayers. And gosh, there's more news, but enough talking for now. So God bless you. Thank you for watching. And I will see you guys soon. Okay, bye.